Trump had kind of an amazing trip to China. They rolled out the red carpet. They had little kids dancing with flowers and flags, and it was like, I don't even know. Kim Jong-un was wearing high-heeled shoes with goldfish in the heel, so he was as tall as Trump. It was a crazy fiasco. CEO and founder of American Energy Institute, Jason Isaac, is here to talk about that trip and what it means for electric vehicles and other things for America. Howdy-ho, Jason.
How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Living a high-carbon lifestyle. Wishing everybody else could, too.
Yep, I do. I don't give two flying farts in the wind if people think I have a high-carbon lifestyle. Got to go where I got to go. Got to get there how I got to get there. And that's what's going to be.
Got to make that footprint big.
Yep, big old fat Bigfoot Sasquatch print. All right, so how funny is it that Xi Jinping grew 6 inches?
Oh, man, he's wearing his Elvis platform shoes, meeting the president. I love it.
I was rolling. I was like, they got to take a shot of his shoes. I don't care what happens. Somebody's got to get a shot. Somebody would have got killed if they would have done it. But, I still wanted to see. But, yeah, it was amazing. Dude's 5'11", Trump's like 6'3", and all of a sudden they're the same height. Stop
That's so funny.
it. Okay. But you got to admit, that was a nice welcome. I've never seen one quite that nice for any American president.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I was pleasantly surprised, but as you have all this pomp and circumstance going on, my attention, like, okay, is this a shiny object we're supposed to be looking at? What's going on around the world? And you saw an ISIS leader was taken out in Nigeria. The ghost was eliminated in Israel. So it's like, hey, take more of these trips. Let's go take out some more bad guys and do some more good things for Americans.
Oh, but the Epstein files and January 6th, the libs are all over Facebook. It's all they got. It's all they got. I said, I'm going to paint a gnome gold and put it in my front yard and see who craps their pants. I mean, come on, people. Things are happening, and it's good. Sorry, I get off on a tangent
really
here.
It's good to have stable relationships with China. I mean, they are clearly an adversary of ours. They want their CCP surveillance vehicles flooding the American market. So that they can learn where everything of our critical infrastructure is. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a good time. It's good to have those stable relations. It's good to have them buying our products from us, namely beef, oil, really primarily liquefied natural gas. So those are good things for us, and people are kind of up in arms on the beef stuff. They're like, oh, but our beef prices are too high, and we just approved importing beef from Argentina. And it's like you look at the beef, and I've been to China, and I know what kind of beef they eat. It's like they call it tripe, I think. It's intestines.
So gross.
Tongue, things, and they like our hides. And who loves I love a good cow hide, goat hide carpet. They're fantastic.
Sure.
I mean, who doesn't? And apparently the Chinese do, too.
Yeah, Indians wear them as clothes. Buffalo, anyway. All right, so when we talk about the Chi-Coms and their vehicles, I mean, it's like the Temu car. You're going to get it's $12. It'll last you a week, and the paper will melt when it rains. So you don't want one of their cars. But people are very afraid that their EVs, hang on, I had a Chinese frog in my throat. So people are very worried, ouch, that their EVs are going to come over here and flood the market and screw up the auto industry. I don't think Trump's going to let that happen.
No, really don't. You look at the average price of a Chinese EV made by BYD, the world's largest seller of vehicles last year. They're $14,000. And who wouldn't love a really nice car that's $14,000? But these are state subsidized. It's kind of like the average price of an EV in the United States is around, I think the lowest one's $35,000, but the average is around $50-some-odd thousand. But that's not the true cost. I've done extensive research on this. It's on the website, AmericanEnergyInstitute.com. The true cost of those vehicles is in excess of an additional $100,000 on top of that because of ratepayers, taxpayers, not just the $7,500 tax credit, but then also people that buy gasoline vehicles here in the United States have been heavily subsidizing electric vehicles to the tune of nearly $100,000 per EV sold. That's why Ford, GM, Stellantis, used to be Chrysler, are now writing off billions of dollars in losses because almost half of those subsidies, if not just over half of those subsidies, have gone away under the Trump administration. So no longer are you and I paying for wealthy individuals to have a fancy, usually a second or third golf cart is what I like to refer to them as. Just absurd. Well, China's doing the same thing. That's why their vehicles are $14,000 because their government is heavily subsidizing these vehicles, getting them into foreign markets. Carney in Australia is a moron for allowing 40-some-odd thousand of them a year. They're surveillance vehicles. I mean, they just might as well. Alberta's going to leave. They're going to become part of the United States or their own independent country. Canada just might be an offshoot of the EU or the Chinese Communist Party.
You know, and it makes me sad that leaders don't see this kind of thing. Maybe they just don't have enough Jason Isaacs and Fawn Riggins running around in their country to inform the public of the way they're being raped economically. But that's exactly what's happening to them. And even if they are or aren't spy vehicles, they're garbage cars. They really are. They're garbage cars. And they're not going to last very long. And then you're going to end up buying a new one. And pretty soon you've spent just as much as you would have for a really cool Rumska that you could be driving down the road, making some noise and getting some looks. Chicks dig
it's a Chinese version
mufflers.
of the Yugo.
Yeah. You throw them away when they run out of gas or electricity. But
it concerns me because they're already being allowed into the United States near San Antonio and in parts of Texas where they have this zone where they can go, and I believe it's 45 miles north of the border. Well, there's military installations within 45 miles north of the border in Del Rio, Texas. So they've got these Chinese surveillance vehicles that are registered in Mexico, owned by Mexican owners that are driving into this United States. So it's already quite alarming, something we need to be aware of. And really put a stop to.
Really ought to put a bullseye on the roof if they're going to do that. You know, this possible deal, though, is not going to happen under Trump. But if we get a squeaky lib in there, this is going to flood the market.
Oh, big time. I mean, it will absolutely do that. It'll be just absolutely destructive to the U.S. auto market. The Alliance for Automotive Innovation called their entry into the U.S. market an extinction-level event for the U.S. auto sector. I mean, again, $14,000, the average cost of an electric crossover SUV from China. I mean, again, the cheapest EV is $33,000. The average U.S. new car is over $50,000. Yes, the new car prices need to come down. Yes, and that's going to happen because we've gotten rid of the subsidies for EVs. So people are going to be able to buy what they want to buy, and those costs are going to come down, and they're going to get more competitive. But flooding the market with Chinese subsidized vehicles, that's destructive. Completely destructive. Again, extinction level event for the U.S. auto industry.
Someone wants to know why you and I hate the environment so much.
Hey, that's why I live a high carbon lifestyle. I wish the rest of the world could too. And you look at what we've done here in the United States. We've reduced criteria pollution nearly 80% over the last 5 decades. That's the things that in certain concentrations impact human health. We're number one when it comes to access to clean and safe drinking water. During the COVID lockdowns, we took half the cars off the road. We shut industry down, and the air quality in this country did not improve at all. In some cities, it got worse. We're at a natural level. So I love the environment. I wish that other 7 billion people on the planet could get to live like the 1 billion that live in economic prosperity, that live a high-carbon lifestyle. I wish those other 7 billion people could experience the same things that you and I take for granted on a daily basis. Flipping a switch to turn on a light, turning on an air conditioner, turning on a heater, getting running water out of a tap that's clean and safe to drink. There's 7 billion people that would love to experience that, but we've got so many woke coastal elites here in the United States that are dictating their policies. The reason they have the ability to dictate those policies, they have so much free time on their hand, is because of fossil fuels. They're not out tilling land, trying to produce food, raising cattle. I mean, that's such a small percentage of our population now. So, yeah, I live a high-carbon lifestyle. I love the environment. We've proven that we're the best stewards of it here in the United States. The rest of the world should treat it like we do.
Yeah, it's really funny how they think everyone else is doing it right, but they won't leave. I really wish they would. I have nothing against electric vehicles. I don't find them attractive. Some of them are getting kind of nice, but I choose not to drive one. If I did have to drive something electric, it would be a hybrid because when I run out of E, I want G. I want to be able to continue my trip. So we don't hate electric vehicles. We just don't want the Chinese ones here, and I don't want to subsidize the one that you want because if you want one, save some money and buy one.
Yeah, I actually love them. I mean, the full self-driving mode, not a plug for Tesla, but it is absolutely amazing technology. I wish other automobile manufacturers would license it from Tesla. Tesla apparently has offered this in the past. They keep refusing. They keep pushing this can down the road when they could be having safer vehicles right now. Look, the accidents are down. These vehicles are 9 times safer than people that are, because the technology that's built into them. And isn't that what we want? We want safer, more efficiency. But I do wish they had longer range, that I wish I could stop at any one of the tens of thousands of gas stations and fuel them up and do so quickly. They're working on that technology, but it is incredibly well. I just don't want to pay for other people to do it. And the people that virtue signal that they're saving the environment by driving an EV is laughable. I mean, the tire pollution from that particulate matter, from the torque of those engines, tires erode faster. You've got to replace tires every 10,000 miles. So that's actually putting criteria pollutants, particulate matter, into the atmosphere. They'll never be carbon neutral, and anything focused on CO2 is absolutely absurd. That is certainly not the control knob for the climate that the left wants you to believe it is. It's a small trace gas in the atmosphere that's necessary for life on Earth. But the mining, 40,000 kids in the Congo mining the cobalt for the lithium batteries that are between the ages of 4 and 13 that no one wants to think about. The cancer villages where they're processing and refining those materials in China, and no one wants to talk about that. So they're literally destroying the Earth to so-called save the planet, and virtue signals they're driving an electric vehicle. So you want to drive one, that's great. You're living a higher carbon lifestyle than I am, and God bless you for doing so.
Yeah, and when the battery dies, you got to get a new one or a new car because they're about the same price, and the other battery has to go somewhere. So think about that
where
for
does
2
that
minutes.
Go?
Yeah,
it goes in the landfill next to the wind turbine blades.
I was just going to say that. Oh my gosh, you have been on the show too often because we're starting to have the same thoughts. All right, so
people are just going to want to launch them out in space to get rid of this stuff here before long. They're like, oh, this is toxic. It's destroying our groundwater. We need to put this stuff way out in outer space.
Yeah, so some little earthworm can die on Mars. All right, so American Energy Institute, you're the CEO and founder. Jason Isaac, he used to be a rep, too, so he knows what Congress is like, because that's, dog and pony show. But how do people go to learn more about this meeting with Trump and China and the EVs?
Oh, you can find me on X at Isaac for Energy. You can find us on website AmericanEnergyInstitute.com.
You must be a descendant of Isaac from the Bible because you make perfect sense and you want to save the world. So it's perfect. All right, Jason Isaac. Thank you, sir.
It's great to be on. Thanks for having me.
See you. Bye.